Hey everybody, in today's video, we're going to talk about what ADUs are. If you're new to the channel, my name's Erin. Here we talk about ADUs and tiny homes. So what are ADUs? Most people think of ADUs as a tiny house in the backyard. Places like California are seeing tremendous growth. Homeowners there are making thousands of dollars a month. Affordable housing matters to me. As a real estate agent, I'm watching houses become more and more unaffordable. So let's talk about ADUs. ADUs are a secondary dwelling on your property. They could be detached, they could be attached. Some people put them in the backyard. Others have converted a level of their home or even in the basement. Some are even converting their garages to the ADU. Other people have space to actually add the ADU on top of the garage. What an ADU isn't, it's just an RV in the backyard. ADUs have to meet building codes for wherever they're built. The zoning will actually dictate who can build an ADU on their property. People will be living in them, so they do have to meet certain code. An ADU must have its own entrance. It must have a sleeping space, a living space, a working bathroom, and a kitchenette area. So why are ADUs becoming so popular? Of course, affordable housing is hard to find. Many cities have seen the prices of homes skyrocketing. Some cities have even doubled in the price of their home. Many people are struggling to find an affordable place to live that's in the right area where they feel safe, close to schools or work. If you look up the 5 most expensive cities in the US, the average price of a home is over $1 million. Living in those areas is just not realistic for most people. Let me know in the comments where you're from. How much is a 2-bedroom rental? I'd love to hear the price of houses where you are. So if we all know that there's not enough affordable housing, why aren't they just building more? These big builders are building new construction everywhere. In short, some of the big builders are. Some are creating affordable housing. Others are not. Building new construction is a business. If you were a builder, would you want to create a neighborhood that made you $5 million or $1 million in profit? It's all about the numbers. So when the big guys are creating affordable housing, it's up to the little guys like me and you. So many places have begun to change their laws and ordinances to really encourage the development of ADUs. Starting in 2024, in California, you can actually build an ADU on your property and then sell it separately from your property. That is huge legislation. I've got an article down in the description so you can read more about it. So let's talk about ADUs. Who's going to be living in them? There is a saying, if you build it, they will come. People like young professionals that want to get closer to jobs but don't necessarily want to live in an apartment or condo. They're not even ready to buy a home yet. Some students don't want to live in student housing, so they choose an ADU instead. ADUs have become tremendously popular as a place to put a loved one. Think about the elderly that some have to put into a nursing home. Instead, they're adding an ADU to their property, letting their loved one live close. By keeping their loved one close, they can actually save money because nursing homes are expensive. A lot of people want to retire early, or they're looking to downsize. Some are building the ADU and living in it while renting the main house for income. A lot of small families don't need a big place. Some take advantage of the ADU so they can save a little money. Can we look at the map of the house prices? At the end of 2023, look at the price of housing. The purple and pink show you where the highest home prices are. It's just not realistic for people to afford anymore. Their income surely isn't going up. Everything else is. They don't have the money. Why are homeowners getting excited about ADUs? Homeowners are getting excited about ADUs mainly because of the passive income they create. Homeowners can add an ADU to their property and rent it out for income. Some of these homeowners are able to offset their mortgage by more than half. Some are adding an ADU to their property in an area that they couldn't normally afford. The ADU helps offset that mortgage. By adding an ADU, so many homeowners are seeing the value of their properties increase, some places up to 30%. So if your mortgage is $4,000 and you rented out your ADU for $1,800, that effectively reduces your mortgage to $2,200. Some homeowners are actually seeing an increase in their home value up to 30%. So if you had a property that was worth $440 and then added an ADU, that means your house value would now be over $570,000. Some homeowners aren't adding an ADU for income. They're adding it because their house got too small. They don't want to move. It's cheaper to add an ADU versus buying a larger house. Some people need an ADU for office space or a guest space or even a hobby space. The ADU is perfect for this. Let's talk about the pros of ADUs. An ADU will help increase housing supply. By increasing housing supply, we can help alleviate some of the stress. An ADU is also going to give us more affordable housing. Some love ADUs because it's an efficient use of land. You don't have to add new streets, develop land. All you do is add an ADU to the property. Imagine if a few of your neighbors added an ADU. You could quickly add a lot more residents in your neighborhood. That actually brings us to the cons of ADUs. There is some zoning and neighbor resistance. Not everyone wants more people in their neighborhood. They're worried about traffic. They're worried about more stress on their utilities, kids in the schools. Another hard part of ADUs is trying to navigate the building codes and the regulations. Not every area has ADU-friendly ordinances. A lot of states are making progress on like this. There are states that are more ADU-friendly than others. Sometimes navigating those zoning and ordinances can really discourage homeowners because it's so time-consuming and sometimes hard to understand. I'd like to hear from you. Are ADUs something that's popular in your area? Are people building ADUs? Do you have an ADU? If you have an ADU, I'd love to hear your story. So to sum it all up, ADUs are really making headway for affordable housing, especially in the areas that are less affordable. ADUs are keeping our loved ones closer to us and allowing a homeowner to have an extra stream of income. But ADUs are not the only answer to affordable housing, but it is going to make a huge impact. ADUs are helping make a dent in the affordable housing crisis, which just seems to be growing and growing. Do you think ADUs could be a solution to affordable housing in your area? I'd love to hear from you. Are you seeing ADUs built where you are? I'd love for you to share your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for watching.